Hi guys, it's Ryan from privatebanker.com here. Just thought I'd do a quick recap on the day. I've not done these for a while now, and I'm going to start trying to do them again on just on what I saw here on the day for gold. So what we did last night on the Open, on the Globex Open last night, is we opened up pretty much just at the low of this previous week's value, and you can see that last week we see sort of two main balance areas, and the first 2 days we see this balance, and then Wednesday we push down back to the previous week's value, and we see consolidation at low, and value got pulled down to price. So on the Open on Friday, we basically they sold it through, and they ran all the stops for buying accumulation here. So anybody who was long on Friday and Thursday, I mean, we see a lot of selling delta coming into the market here, and the market didn't go anywhere. So whoever was accumulating long positions here and had resting stop orders in the market, they basically got taken out off the Open. So they they pretty much ran the weak hand buyers out of the market here. As soon as we put that low in, we basically just found offer back up into the previous week's value. So once this was, you can see a bit of a fight here as we tested last week's value, as buyers and sellers sort of battered it out. But offer was obviously dominating here, and we see a reversion back to last week's mean price, filling in some volume in between this area where we see not a lot traded. In between the two balance areas, as I said. So once this was complete, we see this pretty large accumulation of volume into the highs up here, and you can see this is a nice spike off of the Globex, off the RTH pit open at 8:20 this morning Eastern time, and we ran up into this huge cluster of orders up here, and some big accumulation came in here. And after we see this happen and the initial balance came in, we just basically grind down, and we see the market come back into balance here. So I mean, once we see this happen, I mean, there was not really much more to do onto the buyer side, because if we was going to continue to find buyers in this market, then we wouldn't have come back into balance here. So if we have a look at this on the higher time frame, let's have a look at the monthly. This is where we opened up. We see a push down to this month's 1.5 standard deviation, and this is where we see the stops get ran. Very quick sort of HFTs doing their stuff here, and then we see this immediate offer back up into this month's value. I mean, this is the previous month's value. We've just seen rotation for the last sort of 2 months, so until we break out here and we've seen imbalance happen, I mean, we're just trading in the extremes. So I mean, the best trade here would have been to buy the lows and target the mean price, and I was asleep when this happened. So when I woke up this morning, this nice move up had already happened, and like I said, I see them cap the highs, and I see the market come back into balance. So once the market came back into balance today, what I looked for is a mean reversion. So I mean, this is where we opened off of the on the Globex, on the pit open at 8:20. We opened and we were sitting just on top of the developing value for the Globex session. And I could have just got long here, but I just let things play out, and I see this nice punch up to above the 1300s. And this is where we see this huge accumulation come in. I mean, we become pretty imbalanced here, but we broke the 1.5 standard deviation, and like I said, we returned back to value. So the first thing is to look to see if we were going to see a continuation buying imbalance. So if we see the continuation buying imbalance, we would have found offer here, and we would have put in a new high. The market couldn't trade above this high volume area above us now, and the market came back into equilibrium balance. So once the market does this, and we see this happen, the gameplay is the imbalance is over, and we look for a mean reversion. So the market came back into value. I started to run a Midas Vwap from the high, from this key anchor fractal point, and we see rotations back into value, and we see this pull back to the development value area high and this Midas Vwap. So I got short 1301s to target the mean. And as you can see, we just came down, we tested the half standard deviation, we see some more pullbacks to this Midas Vwap, and then just a minute ago we see this nice sort of push down to today's mean, where I got my targets filled down here. So that's just how I see today play out, and how I approach today. We're still looking very rotational on this market. I mean, if we look at some of the higher sort of time frame stuff, if you bear with me 2 seconds, On the weekly, you can just see that we've had basically a 7-week balance in this area. So you can see we've seen we can maybe say 8 weeks, but this is quite an elongated engulfing bar. So we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of balance in this area now, in this micro bracket. And we've got the larger term macro bracket, and then we have the micro bracket inside in the middle of this area. So until we break above or below this area, then we just trade the extremes of this market. I mean, at the minute, all of the moving averages are getting pulled to this area as we're trading in this area. So there is no real overall direction at the minute. If we look at the current composite that I'm looking at, which is pretty much this low to this high, you can see that we have a very strong point of control here, and you can see a lot of volume accumulated here. And today we pretty much opened and we tested this low volume node here, and we see a rotation all the way up to the next low volume node. So we basically just see this whole distribution get traded in the Globex session since the Sunday night open last night, which is quite interesting. So what I'll do is I'll add this now, and as you can see, the market just keeps getting gravitated to this 1300 sort of 1290 area. So until we break away, we're just going to continue to play these distributions that we can see very visually. This is just the stats for the daily and the monthly. So as you can see here, we see this push down below this month's developing value, and we just see it pull all the way back to the mean price here. So like I said, just looking very rotational on gold at the minute. Just throw one more chart up if you bear me 2 seconds. So this is the developing value for this year. So you can see this year we opened up at the lows of last year, and we see offer coming to the market, and we see a pullback to last year's developing value. Offer won, and we came back into the value area from last year. I mean, I was expecting 1410 to be tested, but we just never got there. We came up and filled this, tested this higher volume area from last year's profile, and once we reach this area, we just see bid come into the market and come all the way back down to the mean. So we're still looking very rotational at the minute. We're just playing basically the half standard deviation on this year, and we can see some pretty strong buy-in wicks into these lows. And we could not test this year's value area low and last year's value low, so it'll be interesting to see how we play out here. But like I said, at the minute we're just very consolidated with no overall direction. Anyways, I'll leave it at that for the minute, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And we have a forum available at theprivatebanker.com, and like I said, if you have any questions, then just please email us. Take care and goodbye.